Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to witness a pivotal moment in ancient history, the dramatic and fascinating rise of Solomon, one of the most legendary kings to ever rule. His story isn't just about inheriting a crown, it's a tale of court intrigue, a father's dying wish, and the dawn of a golden age. Our story begins in the twilight years of King David. Imagine Israel's greatest warrior king, now old and frail, his once mighty frame weakened by age. He had forged a kingdom from scattered tribes, fought countless battles, and composed psalms that would echo through millennia. But as his life waned, a storm was brewing within his own court. The question on everyone's lips was, who would succeed him? Enter Adonijah, one of David's elder sons. Handsome, charismatic, and ambitious, he saw the throne as his birthright. Believing his father was too weak to intervene, Adonijah made his move. He gathered powerful allies, including Joab, David's loyal but ruthless army commander, and Abiathar the priest. He hosted a grand sacrificial feast, a public declaration of his intent to be king. It was a bold power play, a classic act now ask for forgiveness later strategy. He was, for all intents and purposes, crowning himself, but he made a critical mistake. He excluded a few key people from his coronation party: Nathan the prophet, a man who spoke with the authority of God; Bathsheba, David's wife and Solomon's mother; and Solomon himself. This oversight would be his undoing. When news of Adonijah's coup reached the palace, Nathan and Bathsheba knew they had to act fast. They devised a plan. Bathsheba would go to King David first, reminding him of a promise he had made years ago, that her son, Solomon, would be his successor. Nathan would then enter, seemingly by chance, to confirm her report and add the weight of his prophetic office to her plea. Imagine the scene: Bathsheba, a queen fighting for her son's life and legacy, approaches the aging king. She bows low and says, "My lord, you swore to your servant by the Lord your God, saying, 'Solomon your son shall reign after me, and he shall sit on my throne.' But now, behold, Adonijah has become king, and you, my lord the king, do not know it." Her words were a mixture of reverence and urgent appeal. She laid out the danger they were all in, telling David that if Adonijah's coup succeeded, she and Solomon would be treated as traitors. Just as planned, Nathan the prophet entered. He confirmed everything Bathsheba had said, framing it as a question to the king. "My lord the king, have you said Adonijah shall reign after me?" The double-pronged appeal jolted David from his stupor. The old lion roared one last time. He realized the stability of the entire kingdom, the very covenant he had with God, was at stake. With renewed resolve, David gave a series of swift, decisive commands. He summoned Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, the captain of his elite royal guard. He instructed them, "Take my servants with you. Have my son Solomon ride on my own mule and bring him down to the Gihon spring. There, let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him king over Israel." Riding the king's own mule was a powerful symbol, an unmistakable sign of royal designation. The Gihon spring was a public water source for Jerusalem, ensuring the ceremony would be a public spectacle, not a secret plot. As the royal procession made its way through the city, they blew the ram's horn, the shofar, and all the people shouted, "Long live King Solomon!" The sound of celebration was so loud that it literally shook the ground. Back at Adonijah's feast, the party was in full swing. But then, the thunderous noise from the city reached them. Joab, the veteran general, knew immediately that this was no ordinary celebration. It was the sound of a rival coronation. Soon, a messenger arrived, breathless, confirming their worst fears. He told them how David had officially anointed Solomon, who was now sitting on the royal throne. The king himself had blessed the succession. Panic erupted. Adonijah's supporters, who just moments before were toasting their new king, scattered in fear, each man for himself. Their short-lived rebellion had crumbled. Adonijah, terrified for his life, fled to the sanctuary of the altar, clinging to its horns, a symbolic act of seeking divine protection from vengeance. He wouldn't let go until he received a promise from Solomon that he wouldn't be executed. Solomon, in his first act as king, showed a glimpse of the wisdom for which he would become famous. He didn't immediately order Adonijah's death. Instead, he sent a message. If he shows himself to be a worthy man, not a hair of his head will fall to the ground. But if wickedness is found in him, he will die. Solomon offered mercy, but with a clear warning. He was establishing his authority, demonstrating both clemency and strength. With Solomon now securely on the throne, David, on his deathbed, gave his son his final charge. This wasn't just fatherly advice, it was a king's mandate to his heir. First and foremost, he told Solomon, "Be strong, show yourself a man, and observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him, and keep his decrees and commands." David's primary concern was for Solomon to remain faithful to God. He knew that the kingdom's prosperity and stability were directly tied to its spiritual health. He then gave Solomon a specific monumental task: to build the temple. David had longed to build a permanent house for the Ark of the Covenant, but as a man of war he had been forbidden by God. That sacred duty was now passed to his son, the man of peace. Solomon was to build a magnificent temple in Jerusalem, a central place of worship that would unite the nation and be a testament to God's presence among them. Finally, David gave Solomon some pragmatic, even ruthless political advice on how to handle certain loose ends, men like Joab and others who had been troublesome during his reign. It was a stark reminder of the harsh realities of holding power in the ancient world. With his final words, David, the shepherd boy who became a king, passed into history. Solomon inherited a kingdom at its peak. Thanks to his father's military campaigns and political skill, Israel was strong, unified, and at peace with its neighbors. The treasury was full, the borders were secure, and the nation was ready for a new era. Solomon didn't have to be a warrior king like his father. He could be a builder, a diplomat, and a wise administrator. And so began the reign of Solomon, a reign that would usher in an unprecedented era of peace, prosperity, and architectural splendor. It was the golden age of Israel, built upon the foundation laid by his father David, and guided, at least in its beginning, by a profound charge to walk in the ways of God. The story of his rise is a masterclass in political maneuvering, divine providence, and the complex, often messy, transfer of power from one generation to the next. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Solomon's ascension to the throne. It's a story filled with lessons that still resonate today. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more incredible stories from history, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious,